Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taking things out of context.
Out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
In the context.
We have more context.
Out of context.
Taken out of context.
That is so out of context.
And take shit out of context.
Out of context.
Deeply out of context.
You're taking it out of context.
No, hey, hold on. So we're going to flesh this out because I don't want nobody saying we don't take things in context.
It's hard for your words to be taken out of context.
The full context.
In a modern day context.
Tell me the context.
Another important reminder as to why context is so important. So,
hello everybody, welcome back.
Straight out of
context. I am Barbara Ann. Fair use disclaimer.
Out of context
has more context than just the regular standard
creator.
Okay, friends, where do we even start? Gypsy Rose hopped her ass back on a scale to be able to say, look at me. I'm under 109 pounds now, but remember this. Credit to Anxious Aunt, because this is something Gypsy is known for doing. But apparently they're one of the only people that covered this. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what psychopaths do. Nothing is unique, nothing is creative, nothing is original. Repeat, regurgitate, same exact pattern of behavior, same exact pattern of actions, words, and choices. Remember this?
119.2.
119, what is that?
We know that straight out of prison, she was 149 pounds, and then during her pregnancy, she went down to 129. After pregnancy, 119, because she's told us. But it's taken her over a year and nearly a half to lose another 10 pounds. And we know what this is from and how she did it. Because in her own reality show, Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, Ken tells her, you never eat. And Gypsy gets really upset. She's like, you can't say that because of the rumors. And he's like, what rumors? He doesn't constantly Google search TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube search the name Gypsy Rose to know what people are saying. She says, there's rumors that I don't eat. And he's like, well, you sometimes do eat. Ken was so done and over her bullshit. He goes, there's so many rumors. There's a new rumor every day. Like I fucking care. I don't give a fuck what other people say. Just like she said, I don't give an F about a following. That's not real life. Because essentially he exposed her for not eating, especially during her second and third trimester, showing that Gypsy Rose is conceited. She's egotistical. She's a psychological egoist. She's a megalomaniac. She's fucking vain. That she cares more about what social media says about her than the actual health of her child in utero. But what's even weirder is her obsession with self-tanning, because she's turning into the orange pumpkin. Like I said before, it's giving Donald Trump from the neck up, but anemic from the chest and arms down. But why is she doing this? Why is she constantly trying to portray this bougie lifestyle? Why is she trying to be trendy and cool with people that are half her age? Because this is what she does. She mimics and chameleons and copycats and tries to pretend to be something and someone she is not. And like she said, her biggest trigger is her half-sister, Mia Blanchard. No coincidence she's putting all of this shit out when Mia said that her engagement is coming soon and that she was having a new hairdo day, going to the nail salon again. In the same exact week that Mia is posting all of this, Gypsy starts posting this. And why is that? It's because she's fucking jealous of Mia. It's not over having her mom and dad. It's not because she got to be raised with Rod. It's because she's cooler, she's younger, she's prettier, she has a better body. But you know what she has? She has a real job and a real career. Which, if you didn't see Mia Blanchard's live talking about how she was sick last week, she didn't even know if zinc or vitamin C was good for you. Admitting that she knows how to tell you to push out a baby but knows nothing about health and wellness. Which led a lot of people to believe she cheated on a lot of her exams and homework, especially in the nursing program, if she didn't know the very basics. I have even heard people say that Mia Blanchard clearly has a shopping addiction because she goes on TikTok Live often showing off outfits that still have the tags on them that she's never even worn, which begs the question, why are you blowing the money on things you're never going to wear, and why didn't you return it? Mia even admitted that she had to open up a Poshmark to try and resell some of her clothes at a very small fraction of their original price. But Gypsy is doing this because she wants to be Mia. Some people speculate that it's because she wants brand deals. No brand is going to work with a fucking convicted murderer. And it's very surprising that some of these brands don't send her a cease and desist to stop talking about their brand or product, especially when she doesn't even know how to do lip liner, and she doesn't know how to do lip liner before lipstick. But when you take a really good look, she did absolutely nothing with both. But in her latest social media blunder, with the few little content videos she's trying to make, all we see is her doing the same exact shit over and over and over again that she has already done previously, whether it be a year ago, a year and 5 months ago, 2 years ago. And that is what got me really thinking, why does she keep repeating the same exact kind of videos over and over and over? That behavior is so strange to me. As you can see here, she has tried doing that wall trend a year ago. And this is where she accidentally kicks the wall and either stubs her toe or fractures something because she's so impulsive, so negatively impulsive. She doesn't care. She doesn't stop to think about what she's doing. She just wants to film and capture a video so she can post it instead of actually working on a real book or a real podcast or real content. No, not at all. So what she did with her friend Rogie is something that she has already done over a year ago. The same thing with the self-tanner. Same thing with stepping on the scale and trying to brag about weight loss. And it's not the first time she's tried to self-tan and failed miserably at it. But why? Who is she copying? Well, duh, it's Mia, of course. It's always Mia. Or what she thinks other white, young female celebrities do, I don't know. But again, even with the get ready with me, do my makeup with me, outfit of the day, fake workout routine, which she's done those videos, even though she just admitted in a comment section and caption that she doesn't even have a workout routine that she sticks to. So what is it that she's doing? We already know what she's doing because Ken already exposed the truth on that. She just doesn't eat, which is not only not good for her, it's not healthy for her, considering that she can drop weight pretty quickly. Although in the last year, going from 119 to just under 109 is 10 pounds in a year. She's not doing it in a healthy way, considering that once you have a baby, your hips and your pelvic bone are never going to go back to normal. You're never going to be as small as you were prior to having a child. That's just a fact. That is just a truth. But again, her saying this even about herself when she was telling Nick that she was a 105-pound fat pig, what is she saying about her mother then? What is she saying about me? What is she saying about her friend Bree? What is she saying about her stepmother Christy or any other woman who may be slightly overweight? And Gypsy is in the higher end category for her age, her gender, and her height. She's not at the low end and she's not at the malnourished end, the same way she wasn't when she committed her crime and was apprehended. She says in her book she was malnourished, but yet she admits to everybody in a video that she was 100 pounds, which was true because they weighed her and she was 99 pounds. That was not malnourished. So why was that in her book, that her mother had made her malnourished? Because we know on January 11th of 2015, 5 months before her crime, she admits to Nick that she was 105 pounds and that she had weighed herself. We know in February, 4 months before the crime, she sends Nick a 40-minute long video where she is in her birthday suit. And she is anything but skinny, anything but malnourished. But I guess I'm failing to understand, why does it matter so much to her? Because she's a fucking sociopath and a psychopath. That's why it matters to her. She thinks she's better. She thinks she's prettier. She thinks she's more aesthetically pleasing if she's smaller, if she has lost weight. This is probably why she was hyperfixated on Eugenia Cooney and reporting her all the time, and also trying to change her Wikipedia page to say that she had a certain ED, which I'm not going to say here for certain reasons.
I was like 100 pounds. And and I am 4'11", and so I don't, like, my frame is small. They call it petite.
No, Gypsy Rose wants to be able to call herself petite. The word petite in French just means small, but according to the Oxford and Webster dictionaries, it literally means attractively small and dainty, often a word used in describing women. The word petite does not translate to skinniness or being skinny. A woman who is 4'9" or 4'10" or 4'11" is considered to be small. So when clothing says petite, it just means small or extra small. It has nothing to do with how fat or skinny you are, really showing her vainness, her conceit. And for somebody who is 35, 4'11", and female, between 94 pounds and 119 is normal. She's just under 109, so she's right in the middle range. But not even a year ago, she was 119. She was at the high end of that. And we know that Gypsy absolutely loves food. She came out of prison 149 pounds. This is all according to her. This is her repetitive behavior, getting on a scale constantly, trying to show off. Look at me, I lost weight because I just choose not to eat anymore. But also a lot of that appetite suppression may come because she's been drinking alcohol an awful lot. And this might not be the case for some people, but yes, long-term or heavy drinking can cause an appetite suppression, malnutrition, and weight loss, often due to significant stomach inflammation, liver damage, like cirrhosis of the liver. High calorie consumption replaces food. Alcohol does provide high calories and very high sugar. That's why a lot of alcoholics tend to become diabetic. But consuming alcohol, even if it's not heavy, but often, can in fact interfere with the body's natural appetite regulation. Her and Ken went to Alaska where they were seen constantly drinking. Ryan Anderson, her ex-husband, exposed that she was drinking strawberry daiquiris all throughout her parole, even though she was not supposed to. She goes out to dinner with Ken and posts all over her TikTok and Instagram that they share at least 4 drinks between the two of them. And you know somebody's driving. So it would be safe to say that Ken should be having none and the 4 would belong to Gypsy. But she's also posting herself drinking wine and champagne all the time. And like I said, the only person that cares about her body is her. But notice how she has completely lost her butt and her chest. And that's because your butt and your chest is made of fat. So when you lose weight, you unfortunately lose that. But what she's really doing is slapping all of her fat friends and family right in their faces saying, ha ha, look at me. I think I'm better and prettier than you because look what I was able to achieve. When really all it's doing is exposing how incredibly selfish and vain she is. Because guess what? You can lose weight, Gypsy. You can lose your boobs, you can lose your butt. But the one thing you can never change is what your face aesthetically looks like. What you can never change is your skin color. Unless you want to keep dyeing yourself orange, then go right ahead. And you will never change how ugly you are on the inside. You will never change how sick you are in the head. And by the way, I'm going to remind you that TikTok viral trends only last between 3 and 5 days to possibly a week. And that really depends on what it is. But wall trends and dance trends, about 3 days, if that. So why does she keep repeating the same exact makeup trends? Get ready with me. Wall trends, dance trends, self-tanning trends, show you my shower product trends. Psychopaths, and this is true to sociopaths as well, I can show you, often repeat the same behaviors because their actions are rooted in fixed brain structures, ingrained personality patterns, and functional need to achieve specific repetitive goals, such as control, stimulation. They need external stimulation because they can't feel it. They have no emotions. They also have no originality, uniqueness, or creativity. This is why chaos, she even names her own channel that, by the way, destruction and drama is the center of her world. She needs it to be able to feel anything because she's fucking vapid and hollow. Control, stimulation, and manipulation. Their behavior is generally characterized by a lack of remorse and a failure to learn from punishment, leading to a cookie cutter cycle of manipulation, which is exactly how she described her and Ryan's life for not even the first 30 days of marriage and being out of prison. Sure, you can say that after 20 years, but not even a month. They have a distorted sense of reality, space, and time. Brain structure and dysfunction. Research indicates that psychopathy is linked to abnormalities in brain structure, particularly in the frontal lobe and amygdala, which govern emotional responses, impulse control, and empathy. These brain differences mean they do not process fear, remorse, or punishment in the same way as others, making it nearly unlikely or impossible for the whole duration of their life for them to change behavior, especially negative behaviors. Now let's get to the next one. Sociopaths, or individuals with antisocial personality disorder, repeat harmful behaviors because these actions, such as manipulation, deceit, and impulsivity, are ingrained, effective strategies for getting their needs met without the constraint of guilt or remorse. They often lack the ability to learn from past mistakes or feel genuine empathy, making them repeat cycles of abuse or exploitation. While that certainly is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, lack of remorse. They often feel no guilt. They only regret getting caught rather than causing harm, abuse, trauma on other human beings, which they do often, which prevents them from changing their behavior. Effective manipulation. Behaviors like gaslighting and lies often work, allowing them to achieve their goals, such as control or personal gain. Money, rebranding and being looked at as a celebrity, being looked at as a survivor or a victim when she in fact is not. Win reinforcement. When they face no consequences or when others tolerate their actions and behavior, it reinforces the behavior as a successful strategy. Like I've always said for the last nearly 3 years now, it has incentivized her, enabled her to continue her negative behavior because she's never corrected or fucking told no. No, this is not okay. No, I'm not going to help you do that. No, I'm not going to support this. And the people around her don't fucking care because they don't want to be the next Dee Dee. They placate her, they kiss her ass, and then they stay very far away from her. Personality structure. Sociopathy involves biological differences in brain areas governing impulse control and emotional processing. Repetition, compulsion. They may unconsciously recreate past familiar and intense situations. These individuals often view relationships as games or transactions, repeating the cycle of idealizing, using, and then discarding people when they become bored or they are no longer useful. They no longer serve a purpose in their life and or are enabling their behavior, actions, words, and choices, or they no longer have a use for them because they have gotten in their way or they have already gotten what they want from them. Gypsy Rose wanted to rebrand as skinny, fit, beautiful, healthy, cool, trendy. And Ryan Anderson stood in the way of that. Not just his personality, but aesthetically speaking. He just didn't look good next to her. She wants to be seen as changed, healed, grown. She wants to aesthetically make it look like that she's been on this journey and that she really has changed. And how does she do that? By not eating, losing weight, and making you believe that she is different. But she isn't different. She was self-tanning, doing get ready with me, makeup tutorials, product tutorials, when she was in fact with Ryan. She's recycling, regurgitating, and repeating the same behavior. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But she looks like this now. And she's the one who posted all of this. So strip everything away. This is what kind of positive impact that Ken Urker has had on Gypsy Rose, that becoming a mother has had on Gypsy Rose. This is how changed and healed and grown she truly is. She has quite literally turned herself into a cross mix, a mashup of Voldemort and the Three Stooges. And she wants to be the young cool kids, the young cool adults, their inspiration. She wants to be their influencer. She wants to be a representation of convicted murderer turned forgiven. Never going to happen. Never. And I'll tell you why, Gypsy Rose. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I am devout. I am faithful. I am God-fearing. And I love many people who are not. I have many friends who are not. I have many friends who are of other religions or none at all. And sure, we are taught not to judge, but we are imperfect sinners. You know why? Because I'm going to fucking judge you anyway. And so is everybody else. And God is certainly going to have the say on you committing murder and taking his precious life, which was not yours to take. But the rest of us, you're damn straight we're going to judge. The same way you judge yourself and misrepresent yourself as something better than what you really are. You think becoming skinny and losing weight is you rebranding as better than ever. If you want to be perceived as a better person, a prettier person, a healthier person, go to college, get a full-time job, go to a trade school, do something good, positive, proactive for people that are not you. Maybe then you would learn. Maybe then you would grow. Maybe then you would heal. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and advocate for Nicholas Godejohn. Clear his name of the slanders that you have said of him. Maybe, just maybe, people would have a chance to forgive you or see that there is real credible change. But there's a lack of that, and it's been over 750 days. I'm just having a really hard time psychologically and emotionally wrapping my mind around the fact that she thinks losing weight makes her look prettier or makes her look better. It doesn't. It just exposes how extremely hollow, shallow, empty, vapid, and void that she truly is inside. And for the people who do believe her story as true, as being an abuse story, this really should be an eye-opener for you all, because not only does her actions, words, choices, and behaviors prove that she's not rehabilitated and that our legal system, our court system, and our incarceration prison systems fucking all failed, but the fact that she hasn't changed, she hasn't grown. She's just gotten worse, just like her friends and her family have. They have all become worst versions of themselves. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's the real truth to what kind of impact and inspiration and influence that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is on other people, even herself. The irony, though, is now her constantly showing off her body is having lost a lot of weight, you no longer have a body to show off. But it's really what you're saying to all your overweight friends and family. It's really what you think about fat people in general. And the irony of all of it is it doesn't make her prettier in the face. It doesn't make her prettier on the inside. No product, no brand, no surgery can ever do that either. And the fact that her supporters and friends and family haven't seen that she's become worse outside of the prison system not only tells you how extremely bogus her fucking narrative and story was to begin with, but that this is not a redemption arc. This is not a growth arc. This is not a healing journey or building my future one brick at a time. Or no, I'm sorry, she said rebuilding my future that hasn't even occurred yet, one brick at a time. Because she can't lay off of the chat GPT to have a fucking original, creative, unique brain cell anywhere in her whole being. However, I digress. This is what she's done to herself. This is what is underneath when you strip everything away. The orange fake Trump tanner, the wigs, the makeup, the lies, the deceit. All you have is a psychopathic sociopath. One who abuses and harms herself and others more than her mother ever could have dreamed of. And if that hasn't told you and woken you up, well, let her actions, words, choices, and behaviors herself speak for her. Let's do this.
119.2.
119.2. You don't remember Anxious Aunt when they covered Gypsy Rose doing this whole video weighing herself? And she did it before when she was pregnant and after she was pregnant. She went from 149 to 129 to 119. But Gypsy Rose says in her book that she was malnourished and that Mike Stanfield had to go through all of her medical records to tell her and confirm that she was malnourished, even though she wasn't. I prove that with a video that she sent to Nick where she is in her birthday suit and she clearly is not malnourished. But Ken also exposed on her reality show that she wasn't eating during her second and third trimester. That's why she was losing weight. Gypsy clearly has a food aversion, and she just thinks that just not eating is going to be healthy. No, in fact, it confirms that you've always had health issues, especially when it comes to food, chewing, swallowing, and just having a good, healthy diet in general. She also confirms to us that she was 99 pounds when she got caught for her crime and went into prison. 99 pounds at 4'11" for a female, 24 years old, is within the normal weight range, proving that she was not malnourished. So that book of lies is full of lies. But she knows that because she already said that they had to, redo the whole book to fix all the inconsistencies because she read the audio book, meaning she read the whole book. And she also says that she read it 50 times, right? She should have caught all that.
Like 100 pounds, and I am 4'11", and so I don't, my frame is small, like petite.
That's not what petite means, sweetheart. And for 24 years old, 4'11" and female, you certainly were not between 79 and 86 pounds, which would have been malnourished for you. In fact, between 94 and 119 pounds is normal for a 4'11", 35-year-old female. That's you now. Because only sociopaths and psychopaths repeat the same behaviors over and over and over and over again every 6 to 10 months. The only person giving a fuck about your weight is you. But all it does is prove how selfish, conceited, condescending, and vain you truly fucking are. That was Gypsy Rose weighing herself at almost 109 pounds. But this is her telling Nick, I'm fat. I'm a 105-pound fat pig. Talking about how she weighed herself and she gained weight. She doesn't handle gaining weight very well. But she's still not a 105-pound pig yet.
Like 100 pounds. And I am 4'11", and so I don't, my frame is small. They call it petite. And so 4'11", short girls are in the category of petite. So
the definition of petite, according to the Webster and Oxford dictionaries, is attractively small and dainty, used in relation to or of descriptions of a woman. It doesn't have anything to do with your frame or your build or your weight the way that you seem to think it does. It's a French word, petite, and it's feminine, not masculine. So of course, it's attributed to female. But the definition means attractively small or dainty. There's not a single thing that is attractive about you, Gypsy. The only person who gives a damn about your fucking weight and trying to lose as much of it as you can is you. Especially doing it in unhealthy ways like choosing not to eat. Because you're a psychopath and a sociopath, you keep repeating the same repetitive behaviors for over 11 years. This is you 5 months before your crime on January 11th of 2015, bitching and complaining about how you weighed yourself because you're obsessive and you gained weight. Needless to say, you didn't take that well, and thank God for Nick calming you down and giving you freedom for your first-degree premeditated homicide. Because, like you said right after the crime in the text message, he's your hero. He gave you everything that you ever wanted. But let's revisit this on the same day. I'm fat. I feel ugly crying. I don't deserve Nick. He deserves a real beautiful woman, not a fat 105-pound pig like me. So what do you call a 108 or 109-pound pig? Do you call that a heifer, Gypsy? Just asking questions. Because if you considered yourself to be, which you were, on the higher end of the weight spectrum for 24-year-old female at 4'11", considered yourself to be a fat pig at 105 pounds, what do you consider yourself at 108 or 109 pounds? Today. Certainly not malnourished, right? Because if this is 4 months before the crime and you're a healthy 100 pounds here, But one thing you are not and have never been is truly petite, because you're not attractively small and dainty. You're unattractively a sociopath. How about you take that FBI administered lie detector test? Not only do I have a really great amount of control questions, but questions everybody has that you refuse to still answer. Yes, I'm still sick. Fuck you. Let's revisit something really quick. So now, let's check out this.
Put it right there. Okay, and then you turn your whole body. Okay? Then you put your hands down here, and then you just like that. Okay?
Damn, girl, you almost blew your whole wig cap back. So, Gypsy, how long do you think social media trends last? Did you know that social media trends only last for about 3 to 5 days, especially viral trends, which may last for a week? Not a year and a half, as I'm going to show you here. But the bigger question really is, why do psychopaths and sociopaths repeat the same behaviors over and over and over and over and over? Psychopaths often repeat the same behaviors because their actions are rooted in fixed brain structures, ingrained personality patterns, being a chameleon, mimicking, copycatting, role-playing, cosplaying, the same things over and over and over and over. Red Rover, I call Gypsy Rose over to stop her bullshit, actually change and rehabilitate, show some kind of growth, tell the truth, double dog dare you, and a functional need to achieve specific repetitive goals. Money, wanting to look good for society and social media, unable to accept the fact that you're just somebody who was a convicted felon, nothing more, such as control, stimulation, constant need for validation. That's why they crave and create chaos and drama constantly, or manipulation in order to get that. The only way they feel anything is through the adrenaline rush of chaos, destruction, drama. Repetitive behavior is generally characterized by a lack of remorse and failure to learn from punishment, leading to a cookie-cutter cycle of manipulation. Welcome to your life, baby. Oh, and Gypsy, just in case if you didn't know, breasts and buttocks are made of fat. So when you lose weight, you lose your breasts and your butt. You may be very proud of your body, but you are a very negative impact, inspiration, and influence, especially on young girls and young adults, because just simply not eating. Now we know why you're so jealous of Eugenia Cooney and kept stalking her Wikipedia page. But I've been sitting on for over 3 years a Freedom of Information Act request on her, which I will never put out. You have no idea what really goes on inside of her family dynamic and home that led to that. Yours is a vain choice, coming from somebody who has EDS, type 1, type 2, fibromyalgia, and had cervical cancer, and who has to work extremely hard to keep weight on. This is disgusting. I'd rather have fat on my body and maintain my boobs than say, haha, look at me, I ain't got none. That's Gypsy at 119 pounds. She's lost a little bit of her chest. This is her when she was out of prison, 149 pounds, and was only about 11 weeks pregnant. She didn't start losing weight until the middle to end of her second trimester. Really mostly in her third trimester. But this is all public from her putting this out in content. Her getting on a scale, as I've shown you in my other videos. Her trying to brag. You actually had a little something something. And trust me, because I know. But when you lose weight, you don't just lose weight in your stomach or your back fat or your arm fat. You can be small and still have lots of arm fat, lots of thigh fat, still have love handles and a fupa. But notice that and that, gone. You have had a child. Your hips, your pelvic bone, your body is never going to go back to being 105. PIG, like you called yourself. To Nick. So if she thinks this about herself and she's over 4 pounds heavier than this right now, what does she think about women that are 20 pounds heavier than what their BMI should be? Or 80 pounds or 100 pounds? What does she think about her own friend? Really stop and think about it, because it's not just what she's saying about herself. It's really what she's saying about others. In the omission. But when your idea of losing weight is just not eating for a year and a half, especially while pregnant, you should be banned.
Sorry, not sorry.
Call a spade, honey. Keep making content.
Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And God bless you all.